Hello dear Medico student, welcome our YouTube channel Exploring Medico. I will be teaching you a synovial joint. So please like the video and subscribe channel and watch entire series of joint. In between, if you have any question or doubt, so you can ask in the comment box. So let's start the synovial joint. Synovial joint, which is most mobile in all joint and covered with hyaline cartilage. Most involved and freely movable joint. Have a joint cavity filled with a synovial fluid, often termed as a diarthrodial joint, which has a many component. First, fibrous capsule. Second, synovial membrane. Third, ligaments. Fourth, articular cartilage. 5, articular disc or meniscus. 6, bursa. And 7, fat pads. We can see in the figure, in this periosteum, ligament, joint cavity, articular cartilage, fibrous capsule, synovial membrane are present. There are many classification of synovial joint according to shape of articular surface. First, plane. Second, hinge. Third, pivot. Fourth, condylar. 5, ellipsoid. 6, saddle. And 7, ball and socket. Plane joint. Articular surfaces are nearly flat, allow gliding movements, example for intercarpal and intertarsal joints, and which we can see in the diagram. And the surfaces are flat and only gliding movement are available. Next is hinge joint. Articular surfaces are pulley shaped. Movements are permitted only in one plane, transverse axis. Most common joint, example for elbow, knee, ankle and interphalangeal joint. In this figure, the movement is only in the plane and transverse axis. Next is pivot joint, which also known as trochoid joints. Rounded end of one bone fits into the concavity of another bone. The rounded part is surrounded by a ligament. Limited rotation around a central axis. Example for superior radioulnar and median atlantoaxial joint, which we can see in the diagram. A is atlanto-occipital joint and B is atlantoaxial joint, in which rounded part is surrounded by a ligaments and limited rotation are present. So next is condylar joint, in which round articular surface of one bone fits into a socket type articular surface of another bone. Permit movements in two directions. Example for knee and temporomandibular joints, which we can see in the diagram. Next joint is ellipsoid joint. It is elliptical convex surface of one bone articulates with elliptical concave surface of another. Permit movements in two directions. Combination of movements cause circumduction. Example for wrist and atlanto-occipital joint. In this diagram, A is atlanto-occipital joint and B is atlanto-axial joint, in which movement is in two directions and this movement causes circumduction. Let's see the saddle joint or sellar joint. Articular surface are reciprocally saddle shaped, example for concavo-convex, and it allows a wide range of movement, example for first carpo-metacarpal, sternoclavicular or incudomalleolar joints, which we can see in the diagram, in which one surface is concave and one surface is convex. So concavo-convex. Next type is ball and socket joints, and which is known as spheroidal joints, in which rounded convex surface of one bone fits into the cup-like socket of another bone. Permits greatest range of movement. Example is shoulder, hip, and includostrapedial joints. We can see in the diagram cup-like socket are present and which permit a greatest range of movement. So as we discussed type A is according to shape of articular surface, or type B is according to plane of movements, and type C is according to number of articulating bones. So in type B there are three types: unaxial, biaxial, and multiaxial. Unaxial is hinge and pivot, biaxial is condylar, ellipsoid, saddle, and multiaxial in which ball and socket, which we can see in the diagram. Unaxial, biaxial, and multiaxial. In the unaxial type, the transverse axis in the hinge joint, and in the biaxial, the transverse and epiaxis seen in the saddle joint, and multiaxial in which 3 degrees of motion are available. Next, type C according to number of articulating bones. First is simple and second is compound. Simple in which 2 bones and compound in which more than 2 bones, which we can see in the diagram. Next is movement of synovial joint. First gliding or slipping, second angular in which flexion, extension, abduction and adduction, and third is rotatory or circular in which rotation, supination, pronation and circumduction. And there are many special movements. First is inversion, second eversion, third protraction, fourth retraction, 5 elevation, 6 depression and 7 opposition. First inversion, movement of the body medially. Second eversion, in which movement of the foot laterally. Third protraction, in which movement of mandible forward. For retraction, movement of protracted part back to its starting position. 5 elevation, lifting a body part superiorly. 6 depression, moving the elevated part inferiorly. And 7 opposition, in which touching the thumb to the tips of other fingers. So this is all about the synovial joint. Stay tuned, follow entire series of joint. Thank you.